of his drink, not asking anything else. That was the thing about my dad. He hated when I did anything that made it impossible for him to see me as the failure he always thought I'd be. Every time I did something on my own without his money or his help, it chipped away at the narrative he had built around me, the one where I was lost and selfish and immature. He didn't like that. He much preferred the version of me he could shake his head at, the version he could talk about in pitying tones when people asked about me. I could feel him searching for something to say, some kind of subtle dig, but before he could, Stephanie's voice cut through the conversation like a knife. "Well," she said, stepping up beside him, her smile all teeth, "at least she finally did something responsible." And just like that, I felt the heat rise in my chest again. I turned to her, and she was beaming like she was just so happy to see me, but I knew that look. I'd seen it 100 times before. Stephanie was the kind of person who could insult you to your face, and if you got upset, you were the problem. She was just joking. You were too sensitive. I should have walked away, I should have let it go, but I didn't, because something about this night, about this whole thing, was sitting wrong with me. Maybe it was the name tag. Maybe it was the fact that my dad had barely spoken to me before finding a way to brush me off. Maybe it was the way the entire room was filled with people who had never really been my family. Whatever it was, I was done. I turned to Stephanie, tilting my head slightly. "You know, I was going to let it go," I said.